You there?
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I thought I was going to get yelled at by a neighbour.
What, for talking to me?
Yeah, but it turns out there was nobody there.
Criminal bastards.
I think...
I had to get some pork rinds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Scratchings.
It's fucking awful, but it's great when you're drunk.
I love them.
I can't eat them sober. Though.
Oh, I can. So, they're the best.
Gross. Pork scratchings are good when you're drunk. Really drunk. Marvel Comics has a villain called Radioactive Man, which is not related to the Simpsons character at all.
Up and at them.
And he's from China. And in Black Panther, suddenly he was fucking Russian.
Yeah, I mean, they're all communists, right?
Yeah, so Reginald Hudlin just had that. It just ignored everything that happened in the past if it matched whatever the fuck he wanted to write. And that's one of the biggest reasons why his run bothers me so much. As well, he had him marry Storm. And literally the previous arc of the last run had him go like, no, we can't be together, to Storm. And he was like still in love with the first woman he met in America, who was literally a part of that fucking run. Now I appreciate it when a writer wants to do his own thing on a new run when he's writing a comic book. But you kind of have to take up where the previous guy left off. You can't just go like, nope, disregarding that, not important, this is what I want to do. So Black Panther married Storm because they're the only two prominent black people in fucking Marvel Comics.
Yeah, I guess.
And then Frank Cho drew a comic book cover where an actual designer designed the dress that Storm would wear. They actually had to pay him like several thousands of dollars of money.
Really?
Really. And he drew Kitty Pryde, who's known for having the physique of a 15-year-old girl with fucking tits the size of fucking watermelons. And I was like, who the fuck is that? And then I read the book and I'm like, that's Kitty Pryde. It's... Okay, Frank Cho loves his tits, but, you know...
Who doesn't, am I right?
Kitty Pryde is supposed to be like a lithe, lean girl. Like a Turner or a swimmer. Not fucking, a porn actress of any sort. And then he met Dr. Doom and he beat Dr. Doom, and then he met someone else and he beat them.
Now we're getting to why you don't like him.
Actually, Dr. Doom walked away victorious, if I'm not mistaken, but...
Sure he did.
He literally had Doom go like, oh, but the black people are physically superior to the whites. I'm like, what?
No, he fucking didn't.
He did.
That's so bad.
Mind you,
that's so fucking heavy-handed and ham-flake.
It is. That was before...
Doom sat at home watching the Olympics going, will we ever learn? Why do we even bother showing up? Latveria's never going to win gold at the 100 metres.
That would actually be a fun little plot that Dr. Doom had, like, cybernetic athletes.
Try to do like a Soviet fucking showing that Latvia is superior. Like, that'd be cool, actually, yeah. Or they try to disguise a Doom bot. It's like a pole vaulter. Something like that. That'd be
Hang on.
Great.
This isn't urine. This is motor oil. No, that actually could work.
I would read that.
But then the reason why he would do it would be just to see if he could get away with it.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Oh yeah, okay. I'd read that. I would read that comic. What about Latveria bids for the Olympics? and then he's got to make it look like North Korea, right? It's like he builds like fake cities and employs it with people that are paid to act happy as if Latveria is a good place to be, and really it's a shithole.
Actual continuity dictates that the people in Latveria are very happy with Doctor Doom as their leader.
Right on.
Right, shit. We've already been speaking for nearly 2 hours now, haven't we?
We have indeed.
You got anything else you'd like to, put on the table? It might just be...
I mean, nothing pressing. It'll wait. I was going to mention Univision if we were stuck. I've been rewatching Scrubs. Nothing.
Oh, Scrubs! I love Scrubs.
Scrubs is my favourite.
Scrubs is probably my favourite comedy ever.
I've had to revise maybe my rankings because Comedy Central just started showing it again from the very start, and I was like, fucking, just looking for a TV one. I was like, oh god, Scrubs is back on. Great. Haven't seen these in a few years, and I've been watching. I mean, it's like up to series 3 now, and I've been watching it literally every day. I was like, this is probably my favourite show ever. Like, I absolutely fucking love it. I mean, there was a point when I was unemployed, back in the glory days, when I used to watch Scrubs literally 6 times a day.
Shit, I remember that, yeah.
There used to be a double bill on Channel 4, and then there was a double bill on Comedy Central, and then there was a double bill on E4, and I used to watch all of them. And it was the best. And I never got sick of it. And yeah, I've been rewatching the game from the beginning, and I was like, I always knew I loved it, but I think I've realised I really, really love it. Like, I think it might be my favourite TV show ever.
I think it might be my favourite comedy show ever, because it starts off a bit slow and more down to earth than it ends up as. Yeah. But it never actually becomes bad. It's never actually cringe-worthy.
I even liked the spin-off season, Med School.
Yeah, that was alright.
I even liked that with Dave Franco. I thought that was pretty good.
It wasn't particularly excellent, but
it wasn't still excellent, but I think
okay.
Yeah, I think it gets a bit of a bad rap. I thought it had some great, especially any time Dave Franco was on screen. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was fine. The interplay between him and Kelso, especially, is great. But no, Scrubs, I always loved it. But rewatching it again now, I think it might be my favourite program ever. It's great. It's so good. Scrubs has definitely made me cry more than any other television show.
I think we've talked about this before. I cry a lot when funny shows suddenly turn very sad. That's when I'm at my most defenseless. It's when they suddenly turn around and go oh, here we go.
Really
now we're at the funeral. I'm like, no! My Mistake, which is... no, it's not My Mistake. My Mistake is the one... 10 seconds. I'm cheating a lot during this recording.
Yeah, you really... I think you're setting new records for Wikipedia.
Okay. So the episode My Screw Up, which stars Brendan Fraser.
Oh.
And it's like the second episode he's in. Oh. And oh my god. I didn't realise the first time around, but when he goes where do you think we are? And then Josh...
I think we've discussed this before, actually. Because this is my big moment in the whole thing as well.
This is
oh, it gets me.
The moment he says where do you think we are? And Joshua Winters starts playing. I just became a bawling mess. I'm like, no, why the fuck are you doing this?
Fucked me up, I mean, that's a big one. The one where Laverne dies is a big one. There was one on a couple of days ago where there's a woman who's waiting for a heart transplant, and she sings about
I'm waiting for my real life to begin. That's quite early on as well. That's season 2, I think.
Series 2, yeah. Series 2. It was just on the other day. As I say, I'm watching it all again. And it came on and I was like, oh no, it's this one! And it's even though I was waiting for it, it still got me at the end. It fucking...
Even the one about the lady that had rabies, I want to think.
Oh man.
And
that's
lunch.
That's Chloe's
episode. And even though the song is where did I go wrong? It's
the fucking phrase, terrible shite.
That song has been on the radio so much. I'm like, no, not this fucking song.
I hate The Fray, and I hate that song, but in the context of that episode...
But at the moment it appeared in fucking Scrubs, it wasn't even that big yet.
No, I think that made it famous, didn't it? There's even... in fact, there's a joke later on in a later season where JD says about a song by The Fray, and it starts playing that, and he's like, no, not that one, the other one. And it starts playing a different song.
But Dr. Cox struggling to keep like these 4 patients alive, and just The Fray going in the background. Where did I? I'm like, no.
Perry, that's Chloe's favourite episode.
Chloe has good taste.
Cox is my favourite character. I'm gonna say in the history of television. I absolutely love.
It's
Perry
weird.
Cox.
I like the janitor better in the show, but Dr. Cox is probably a better character.
Well, yeah, I've been having this debate with Chloe because her favourite character is Kelso, right?
Kelso is also good.
And she was like, Kelso's best in it. I was like, right, you can say he's the funniest, but he's not the best character because he's not as deep, and the janitor especially never really becomes 3D. You get little snapshots of his personal life and sort of his weird upbringing, but you never know what's real and what's not with him. It's all so surreal and weird.
Even his human moments have like a tinge like
the surreal, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like you get about like his dad say like a bit about like his dad locking him in the closet for hours on end and things like that. It's all, even the traumas that he suffers are bizarre in nature
and ambiguous.
Yeah,
like the episode where he had a different uniform. He's like, I'm not being feared anymore. It's weird.
Oh god, yeah, he gets like a blue, like a weird coloured jumpsuit, and everyone's like friendly with him.
Like a light pastel blue.
Yeah,
and his infatuation with Dr. Reed. And he's like,
I love those bits though. The bits where he like protects Elliot are really.
Yeah, he becomes nearly human, but he's like he realizes he can't really be with her, so he just lets her go. It's like for a weird Frankenstein's monster kind of thing. That's quite nice.
Yeah, and Scrubs was great. It even tertiary characters like him and Ted, it fleshed them out to a point. Like him and Ted in the final season, like get married and have happy endings. Like they could easily have written the show and just been like, fuck it, they're just unimportant characters. Whatever, they don't need an ending, but they get proper endings. Like Laverne gets an ending, the saddest one of all, but she gets an ending. Like every character gets an ending. Such a good show.
She got an ending because they never thought they would get another season. That's why she died.
Well, I mean that thing. The famous thing about the janitor, of course, is season 1. He was meant to be a figment of JD's imagination, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was supposed to be Snuffleupagus.
Because they were sure the show was going to get cancelled, and that's how they were going to end it. It was by going, well, it'll get cancelled eventually, and we'll have to write an episode on the fly and be like, turns out JD's mentally ill. But then, midway through season 2, they realised they weren't going to get cancelled, and Neil Flynn, who plays the janitor, was like, can I please talk to another actor? That is why they started fleshing him out, because he was like, I only ever get to do scenes with Zach Braff and nobody else. Can I please talk to somebody else? Yeah, okay.
He's pretty fucking good, because apparently they couldn't even script him that much. They were like
who, Flynn?
Neil Flynn ad-libs here.
Good, that's great. I was looking him up the other day because he appeared in something that we watched. I can't remember what it was. I was looking him up to see what he was in.
He's in Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Is he? Jesus. But it turns out his first ever acting credit on IMDb is in a British soap.
What?
He was in one episode of Brookside.
What?
Do you know of Brookside?
No.
Presumably you know of EastEnders.
Yes.
The Cockney one, and you know of Coronation Street.
Is that a spin-off?
Brookside was set in Liverpool, and it was right. It was about like a scouse. It was about a cul-de-sac, Brookside Close, in Liverpool, working class
like
Liverpool.
Neighbours.
Yeah, basically, and yeah, his first ever acting credit, Neil Flynn's first ever acting credit, is in one episode of Brookside, and I need to find this because I can't imagine. First of all, how did that happen? And secondly, did he do a Scouse accent? I I need to see this. I need to see it.
I don't know.
I have to try and find. I was looking him up on IMDb, and that was like, hang on, this can't be right. This must be a mistake because how the fuck?
Never even heard of Brookside.
Brookside. It ran from the early 80s up to about the
2003.
Are you looking this up now as we speak?
No.
I was going to say it ran to about the early 2000s, yeah, and it was cancelled.
That's quite long still.
I mean, not for a soap though, because it's the only soap that's ever been cancelled. Like, EastEnders will never die. EastEnders will outlive me and you.
That's still like more than 20 years.
It is, but like Coronation Street's been on for like 70 years. Again, it will never die.
Fair enough.
But yeah, like this is the bizarrest thing I've ever found out, is that he was in one episode of Brookside.
That's madness.
I know, I need to find out how. But yeah, Neil Flynn.
I quite like him. He's funny.
He is funny. He's in a deleted scene in Anchorman as well.
I haven't seen that deleted scene from Anchorman.
I had the DVD. It's on there. It's after Jack Black, in his cameo, kicks Baxter off the bridge. There's a scene where Ron is talking to a policeman about what happened, and the policeman is Neil Flynn.
I've forgotten that Jack Black was in it.
Yeah, Jack Black's it.
I quite like Jack Black. I don't get the dislike that people have for him.
I do, because I like Jack Black to a point. I like him if he is in something written by someone else. If it's a thing where he's written it and is starring in it, I find him quite grating.
Such as?
Like the Tenacious D movie, I found very annoying. Whereas Tropic Thunder, I think he's hilarious in it.
I don't think the Tenacious D movie is the best thing ever, but
no.
I like him in Tenacious D itself. So
I don't like Tenacious D. They annoy me. He annoys me. But I think he's funny in stuff written by other people that he happens to be in. I think he's a bit like Sascha Baron Cohen in that way. Like, I hate the stuff that he has written, but he's a great comedy actor. Oh, in fact, just a great actor. Because I like Les Mis. I think he's brilliant in Les Mis. Even
he's brilliant in
Talladega Nights.
Sweeney Todd as well.
I haven't seen Sweeney Todd, but I've heard that he's very good in it. He's hilarious in Talladega Nights as well. Like, but I hate Borat. I hate Bruno. I haven't seen the Dictator.
Hugo.
I haven't seen Hugo either, but that looks.
Oh my god! You have to see Hugo, and I'm gonna see Hugo, and we're gonna have a little chat about it.
Are we gonna TLDR gonna review Hugo?
Yes.
I mean, it's Scorcese, so I'm in.
It's my god! It's
my fave.
It's a movie that plays with your expectations.
Not my fave. My second favourite director. Trainspotting is clearly. What did you think of Trainspotting 2, by the way?
I quite liked it. It's a natural progression of what the characters have been through in their life.
Yeah.
It's not the same as the book because it deviates.
Yeah.
Because I've read the book like years ago before I saw the film.
Mm-hmm.
And in the book Porno, it's a lot more similar to Trainspotting itself, the film.
Yes, yeah.
But the film Trainspotting 2 is a lot more like it gives meaning. Like in Trainspotting the book, they give a reason why the book is called Trainspotting, but in the film Trainspotting, they don't.
No.
But in Porno, they don't care about the movie Trainspotting or the book Trainspotting. So in the movie Trainspotting 2, they give reason to the existence of Trainspotting and that film. And it's good to see Begbie and Renton and Sick Boy, like, they're still trying to get further in life, but still stuck in a way. It's like a midlife crisis film. And if Trainspotting 1 wasn't so fucking excellent, that it's a timeless capsule of what era it represented, Trainspotting 2 would probably be mind-blowing to people.
Well,
it's the same curse that Robocop 2 and Jaws 2 have, in my opinion.
Kind of. I think the strength... My favourite thing about Trainspotting 2 was... admittedly, I've not read Porno, but Trainspotting 2, it didn't seem to be... It didn't try to be the film version of Porno. It tried to be the sequel to the film. And it almost dispensed with the book entirely. And the themes it dealt with were... Like you said, Trainspotting is basically a perfect crystallization of its time period. It's a great representation of what that time was like. And Trainspotting 2 is a great... I think it'll age really well, because I think it was a good study of sort of nostalgia, and because obviously everyone got to see that film was looking for the nostalgia hit of, oh, it's a Trainspotting sequel, great. And it sort of held a mirror up to you, and it certainly... Everyone nowadays is really nostalgic for the 80s and the 90s. Yes. And it was a bit like all the characters were stuck in Arrested Development, and especially Renton's Choose Life speech in Trainspotting 2 is really introspective, and really it fucking holds a mirror up to the audience so much, and it really is like, do you not see that you've wasted the last 20 years of your life because you've been trying to do is prolong the feeling you had in 1997?
In Trainspotting 1, I didn't get the Choose Life bit was a reference to the era it was from. I only knew that speech from that film.
From that film, yeah, so did I.
I thought Choose Life was Trainspotting. But
yeah, me too.
In Trainspotting 2, he takes that and he's like, he evolves the entire issue of that. He's like, Choose Life doesn't mean anything. You think it means something. It's just something we said. Because of the importance you attach to it. I could do that with anything. And watch this, and then he does another one, and if the original hadn't existed, like if you hadn't gone like choose a washing machine, choose a fridge freezer, it would be like choose social media, choose Instagram. That speech would have been breaking everybody, but because you knew it was already attached to the previous film, you were like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. It was more a personal insult than fucking... Yeah,
it's properly
a
like
reflection
a fuck you.
Of society.
It is, it's a fuck you to the audience, and I think that's... It's weird, Trainspotting 2, because I think it's a great sequel in that it could only be considered great in terms of being a sequel, because it references the first one in such a strange and unique way. It doesn't... It's not just that it follows on, it references it back, and it holds up a mirror to the audience, and it kind of... It reflects that film in such a weird, odd, unique way. And I think that's the thing that crystallises it. It's an examination of nostalgia, and I think that is a massive part of society currently. Like how many... Like fucking look at... Like Ready Player One is about to come out. Like a film that is nostalgia the movie. And like we're fucking obsessed with nostalgia in this current society, and that film Trainspotting 2 is purely about like you look back at like a time what was great, but then you look at fucking like Trainspotting 1, what we're nostalgic for, great. It's about being fucking bleak and terrible, like what was that? Yeah, and yet people are nostalgic for it.
I really like Porno, the book, but it's mostly a series of events, just like the book Trainspotting is a series of events. Danny Boyle took the first book and he made it quasi-coherent. It's not really that much of a singular progression anyway. But in Trainspotting 2, he definitely transformed it. Because I'm going to go outright and say it. Porno is literally just Trainspotting 2, as in the same things that happened in the end of Trainspotting.
Right.
So it's like
Trainspotting, but again.
Exactly. So it's like
more Trainspotting.
There's a scheme. There's shit that happens. Begbie's fucking insane, and Renton gets away with the money. So that's basically what it ends.
It's the rock and roller to Trainspotting's Snatch.
Probably. I haven't seen Rock and Roller.
Rock and Roller is great, but it is
not
just
as good as Snatch.
Well, I actually prefer it, but I think it's just because I've seen Rock and Roller less times.
So, Trainspotting 2, the film, it actually degrades the character of Renton, which is good, into, like, he's stuck in the same thing as the rest of them.
Arrested Development, yeah.
Yeah. So, the end of that film actually ends up on a more positive note for some of the characters than what the book Porno did for all of them.
Because presumably Porno ends the same way as Trainspotting 1 does, where it's Renton wins and everyone else is just shite.
Yeah. And in Trainspotting 2, Spud comes off fairly decently well because he wants to change. He wants
and
to progress.
Spud, I thought, was the best character in Trainspotting 2.
I love Spud.
He's far more likeable than Renton in 2.
Yeah,
anyway.
because Renton is a bit of a dick.
No, he is. He definitely is.
I mean, he's the main guy, but he's not the most likeable guy.
No, definitely not.
Spud's just stuck in his ways. That's the fucking problem with Spud.
I loved Begbie in the second one. I mean, I love Francis Begbie anyway.
I love Begbie, but it's obvious that Begbie is not the guy you're supposed to root for.
No, and you definitely don't root for him. But I loved in the second. The thing I was most worried about was in Trainspotting 1. Every time Begbie is on screen, there's this weird undercurrent of tension that makes me feel really deeply uncomfortable.
Well, that's good because that's exactly what they weren't going for.
Yeah, and I was worried that in the second one, I was like, are they going to be able to recapture that again? And when the prison scene came up, when he gets stabbed and all that, I was like, this is hilarious. And I was a bit worried at that point. I was like, oh wait, is Begbie going to be like the main dude now because he's the most popular character? But the second he gets out of prison and is on their case, every scene he appears in, I was just like, oh no, I don't like, especially the bit with Spud, the bit where he accidentally, when he's reading his little story out, and he accidentally says Begbie's name.
Oh God!
The second he says it, I was like, I stopped breathing. I was like, oh no, because I felt so sick. I was like, no.
When he said he liked it, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so relieved.
I know, it's like
I was terrified for Spud.
I was so glad they captured that essence again of like the undercurrent.
But
in
even
Begbie,
Begbie realizes he's like has arrested development. He's stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
And
all the stuff with his son was great as well.
I love that he managed to realize that his son is not like him, and he actually has a chance, between quotation marks, like a chance to be different, a chance to get out of whatever the fuck Begbie's in.
Yeah, it was good to see some, because Begbie, as good a character as he is, it's weird to think of, is there any scope for growth with that character? But
he does grow, but you know, even bad people can grow positively. It just doesn't mean they're redeemable at that point.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. That he can grow, but he's irredeemable is a good way of putting it. Irredeemable is probably the best way to describe Francis Begbie.
I haven't read The Blade Artist yet because
I really want to.
I still have a lot of books to get through. It's probably going to be about the next book I'll get through next then. Because apparently next week, Wednesday, Irvine Welsh, at the time of recording, will release a new book called Dead Man's Trousers. This is going to be the 4th installment of the Trainspotting quadrilogy.
Oh, really? I did not hear of this.
And I can't even order that book yet because the Dutch bookstores are always so fucking behind on things.
I can't wait to tell the missus. She'll like
Dead Man's Trousers. I don't know who is it about just yet, but apparently one of them is gonna die. That's the premise of the book.
Okay.
And I don't want any of them to die, even the fucking psychopaths.
Well, even Sick Boy.
I mean, even Begbie, I was going to say, but sure.
But because he's the obvious one, but Sick Boy is also like just deplorable.
Sick Boy is scum and deplorable and abusive and takes advantage of everybody, but he's funny. He likes Sean Connery, so he's alright.
That is no substitute for moral fibre.
I know, but I was being sardonic.
That's a quote from the film.
Sorry, you got me there.
That was the thing in Trainspotting 2 as well, is that I loved Spud's little stories that he reads are just passages from the books.
Oh my God, the bit where he actually gives the film the title, with it on the train, on the station. Yeah. That's actually quite sad.
Yeah, it is. But I liked that they just incorporated literal, like, word for word bits from the book into the thing as Spud's writings. I thought that was pretty cool.
It was cool because that's actually part of the first book. Renton and Begbie are on a train station.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, that they just took passages from the books, put it in it. I thought that was a good way of crossing it over. The story that he tells about Begbie like knifing the guy in the toilet, that is direct from the book again. Like, great.
Mind you, they took out Renton's brother and him shagging his brother's widow. So it's not all bad, I suppose, taking things out.
No, I guess not.
Right, so let's end on the high note. Stuart.
Yes.
It's been very pleasant talking to you tonight.
I thought so. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah. So we'll definitely have a chat soon about what was I going to say? What we're going to watch.
You said. Oh wait, what was it that I said I hadn't seen?
I thought I was the one with short-term memory loss.
I've been drinking quite heavily.
I've nearly done by my second bottle here.
Oh Jesus, what was it?
Shit, I can't remember.
Let's just say Black Panther.
This is bad. I'll send you a message tomorrow, and then you can record like a very still frame, like best film.
Yep, done. Okay, we'll do that.
That'll work. That film. Oh my god, I could. Well, we're supposed to see Sunshine together anyway because Sunshine's great.
Cillian Murphy.
Sunshine is my favourite film. That's not Event Horizon. That's about a crew, about people with single traits that go off to do something in space. That's not Aliens. Seriously though, Sunshine is so fucking good.
Is it Cillian Murphy or Cillian Murphy?
You know, I was going to ask you that.
I think it's Cillian Murphy.
I think it's Cillian Murphy, but I've heard people say Cillian Murphy. I'm like, that can't be right.
Cillian would be with a K though, right?
But I've never actually heard somebody pronounce his name out loud.
I have, but I've heard him do it both ways. I've never heard him pronounce it out loud.
I've never heard him pronounce it, or that's
what I'm waiting for.
Or somebody that he works for.
Or an Irish person.
Or an Irish person. It's always been somebody on the internet going like, Cillian Murphy, or is it
I'm waiting for an Irish guy
Murphy?
to say it, and then I'll commit. Alright.
Cillian Murphy's quite good as well, because he's good in 28 Days Later and Sunshine.
And Batman Begins.
Oh, he's quite good in Batman Begins.
And Peaky Blinders.
Oh, he's quite good in Peaky Blinders. I like Peaky Blinders.
Tom Hardy. Dunkirk.
Oh, right, yeah. I've never seen... Oh, I should see Dunkirk.
Oh, you should see Dunkirk. It was so good.
Because you said Dunkirk...
Some would say it was the best film of 2017.
It's probably some kind of northern bloke from Darlington. That's it, that.
Might have been. Not just me. It's been nominated. It's been nominated for the Oscar. Like I don't carry that much pull. Not yet, anyway. Right.
We're gonna watch together.
Sunshine. Oh, we're gonna watch Black Panther together. We're gonna watch Predators together. We're gonna watch.
As long as it's not The Pest.
we are going to watch The Pest together.
If we're going to watch The Pest together, it better be in a riff tracks kind of fashion, because I'm not going to sit through that film sober all by myself.
I did.
Yeah, but you hate yourself. I love me. Stuart.
Good night.
Stuart.
Good night.
I'll see you soon. Good night. And dear listeners.
Good night, listener.
Thank you very much for hanging into this. I like the bit towards the end where we just have giggle fits, and you probably enjoyed those as well. Please follow my friend on Twitter @SnooBrap2. I keep expecting you to return the favour and say like, oh well, and you follow this northern this Dutch person on Twitter @Dutchsticker.
@Dutchsticker. Follow @Dutchsticker. Subscribe, like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube to @Dutchsticker. It's not @Dutchsticker on YouTube because there's no @s on YouTube.
Oh, right. Talking about YouTube, last time somebody commented on one of our podcasts that Sonic can actually die if you leave him on screen without doing anything.
Does he really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
And I was like, oh, thank you for correcting this, Dirk. Shout out to Dirk, pleasant Dutch German person, one of my good internet Twitter friends. He loves you too, by the way, probably.
Me?
He never mentions you. He usually goes for stuff I like.
Well, fair enough.
Hey.
Thanks for the support.
So that's a good night from Stuart and a good night from me.
Good night from him and a good night from...
Bye-bye!